Hey everyone, I'm Colin here at etrailer, and today we're going to take a look at the Thule Range 4 bike rack. Now this bike rack is Motorhome approved. Now what that means is this bike rack is built with a solid steel construction. Everything around here is reinforced steel, so it's going to be able to hold up well to those long road trips and to those big impacts. Now this bike rack is going to be able to carry up to 4 bikes to and from your destination. It will have a weight capacity of 37.5 pounds per bike, totaling 150 pounds. Something I do want to give you guys a little tip on is that you want to load your heaviest bikes towards the center of it while coming back to the outside with your lighter bikes. We also do have an onboard cable lock with our bike rack. It comes out from the base of the rack. We can bring it over the frame of our bikes, put it in that slot. We'll take our included key, lock it up. That's going to be a nice theft deterrent for our bikes. Now this bike rack is going to be able to haul a wide variety of bikes. We've got some mountain bikes on here. We've got a couple road bikes. You'll be able to do kids bikes and women's bikes as well. Now something I do want to point out, and this is the case with all hanging style racks, is there are going to be some frames out there on bikes that just won't fit over the 2 arms. You can see right here with our kids bike, we had to put a bike adapter bar on it so that we could get it to fit on our bike rack. You can find plenty of these here at etrailer.com. Now each bike is going to be held in place with 3 different straps. We're going to have 2 of our straps on the top tube right here or on the bike adapter bar if you have to purchase one of those. The straps are just securing them down onto their cradles. The third point is going to be our anti-sway cradle, which has a strap coming around the seat post tube right there and securing into that cradle. That anti-sway cradle just helps take away a lot of the unnecessary movement from our bike while we're traveling. It doesn't take away all of the movement, but it definitely does help preventing a lot of bike-to-bike contact or even bike-to-vehicle contact. Now Thule also includes a security strap. We have it installed right now. Basically what you want to do with it is wrap it through the frames of your bikes to the mast of the bike rack, go around the mast of the bike rack and come back through. You don't want to cinch it down all the way to just squeeze your bikes together. Basically what you want to do is bring it down so that it's just pretty snug and you can just feel tension. What that's going to do is keep your bikes all together. Now one thing I do want to touch on is the straps that Thule included with this bike rack. It's kind of a new design they have. These straps are very flexible. It's not like those thick rubber or thick plastic straps where they're very stiff and it's hard to load and unload your bikes or even to get the straps installed. You can see that they're very flexible. They have a nice rubber strip on the bottom side, so when it's around the bike, it's not going to harm the finish of your bike. When unloading your bikes, like I said, it just makes it a lot easier. You can keep the straps loose like we have on this side, and they're not going to be in the way at all. Your bike should just glide right over them. Or even if you have them installed like we do on the other side, the bikes can still go right over top like you see I'm doing right there with my finger. So let's go and unload this bike and I'll show you that real quick. Pretty easy to operate as well. You just push in those tabs and then pull the strap out. Now another thing I do want to point out is that sometimes the anti-sway cradles can get in your way, especially if you have a mountain bike like this one, where it is a pretty small slot to fit through to get it unloaded. In that case, if you choose, you can just take the strap and undo it like that, and you can actually just pull the strap out of the cradle with a little bit of force. Once you get that strap all the way out, you can fold this cradle to the other side. It clicks in right there, comes right off. We see we have the other cradle right there. If you choose, you can just push it up just to get your bike off if you don't want to hassle with getting the strap off. Now our cradles are going to have a nice soft rubber padding on top that's going to help protect the finish of your bike from any type of scratches or abrasions. And you can see we also have these grooves on our cradles. It's going to be on every single one. Those are so you can set your brake cables into those grooves so the weight of your bike isn't pressing down on them, possibly damaging them. We all know it could be a hassle to find those replacement parts for your bike. We're also going to have that same nice rubber padding on our anti-sway cradle down there. And again, in case you have brake cables running up your seat post tube, there are grooves in there as well. The cradles can also pivot back and forth just to accommodate bikes where you might have a different angle when you're putting it on your bike rack. When not in use, our cable lock is going to store in the mast of the bike rack. Just push it down in there. Make sure you get that notch on the top part of the hole, and then we just feed the rest of our cable through until it's locked in place. Now with any hitch mounted accessory, you are going to have added length to your vehicle or your RV, whatever you choose to use it for. So I'm going to give you a measurement from the center of the hitch hole to the outermost part of the bike rack, which is 40 inches. That'll give you an idea of if that's going to be too much space added on for you. Now, we can take away that space when it's not in use by folding down the arms, which isn't too common amongst RV-rated hitch bike racks. So we could just pull that lever, fold it all the way down till it clicks. That loud audible click is something Thule's pretty proud of. They want to make sure that you know it's locked in place before you get going. Now the center of the hitch pin hole to the outermost part of a bike rack with the arms folded down is going to be 14 inches. So we did take away a lot of that space. That's something you want to keep in mind for any close quarter situations like parking or anything like that. Now also you do want to make sure that your bike rack is going to fit with your vehicle. You can see right here, the base of our bike rack is coming very close to our RV. So we're going to give you a measurement from the center of the hitch pin hole to the closest part of our bike rack, which is going to be 5 1/4 inches. Now the reason we are sitting very close to our RV right now with our bike rack is because the hitch does sit under the bumper a good amount. So if you have a hitch that is flush with your bumper, lines up perfectly, or even if it sticks out a little bit more, you're not going to have any problems with using this bike rack. But that 5 1/4 inch measurement should give you an idea of if it'll fit. Now we're also going to have a threaded hitch pin, which when tightened down takes away the shake and play from our bike rack even when we're traveling at high speeds. We have a lock on the other side, which is a nice theft deterrent. It's going to be key to lock with your onboard cable lock. Just insert your key in there, unlock it, then you can remove the lock and then untighten your threaded hitch pin. Now even though this bike rack is constructed for RVs, I want to point out that you can still use it for any standard 2-inch by 2-inch hitch receiver. You see we have it on our crossover SUV right here. One thing that you do want to make sure you know is that with this bike rack installed on a vehicle like this, you will not be able to have access to the trunk because it cannot tilt away. You can see right here when I try to open up the trunk, it'll come up and make contact right there with the bike rack, and then it'll go and automatically shut back down. Let's go ahead and take a look at it on our test course. Up first is going to be our slalom, which is going to simulate side-to-side action like evasive maneuvering or taking a sharp turn. Now we're on to the solid speed bumps, which is going to simulate the up and down action like going over a speed bump or pulling into your driveway. And now our alternating speed bumps, which is going to simulate driving over uneven pavement like potholes. Now all in all, this is going to be a very nice and durable bike rack. It may not have as many bells and whistles as some other Thule racks out there, but it's definitely going to get the job done, and at the same time it's going to be a lot more durable than a lot of Thule's racks that they make. And it's a Thule, so it is going to be stylish, it is going to be very high quality as always. The thing I really like about it is that you're not going to have to get 2 different bike racks, one for your vehicle and one for your RV. It's going to be able to work with both. Now with all that being said, it's going to do it for a look at the Thule Range 4 bike rack.